Hello, my friends. For this reading, I guess, we're starting off with a message I got while I was meditating this morning. Like everybody else, or just about everybody else, I have been hoping and praying for a life of ease. And today, while I was meditating, I heard, hardest work of your life. On the one hand, this is somewhat alarming because I have done very, very difficult things. Things that some people would say are impossible. My classmates nicknamed me the Bionic Woman because they didn't believe it was possible for me to do what I was doing either. So, yeah, a lot of people have said that to me about the things I have done. And there are definitely many, many things that I thought I could never do, and then it turned out that I could do them. And I did do them. Perhaps that's where you find yourself now as well. So after my meditation, I came in here to do readings, and I felt compelled to start with this one. I'm not sure what's going to happen here, but I have been contemplating intuition quite a bit lately, particularly in regard to energy work or energetic sensitivity, because I am very energetically sensitive. I have been for many years, but I haven't really fully appreciated the difference between energetic sensitivity and intuition. But I'll get into that later. For now, we have time to go. In response to my decision to do this reading, or whatever it is, I shuffled the Oracle deck, and we got number 45, Essential Meanings, Endings, Completion, Walking away from something because there's nothing else to learn or experience. The Oracle's message: you are at the end of one journey and have not yet begun the next. This is the moment to bless your experience so far. Take stock of what you've learned. It's time to move on to new experiences and a new way of being. There is nothing left for you to do, be, or experience in your present circumstances. Take the risk and move on, even if you need to be in transition for a time. Your destiny is calling you. So, are you in transition? Let's start by taking stock. So, what lessons or experiences have you learned? Or what have you learned from your experiences? What lessons have you learned? What is it time to take stock of, to be grateful for? Of course. Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords being clarity, an aha moment, a breakthrough. Three of Cups. That's an interesting one. Three of Cups is about communication, also celebration, friendship. Those birds sure do look like they're having a good time. Maybe a little bit too much fun. And maybe that's what you learned, that there is such thing as too much fun. Well, this is interesting. So it came out sideways, and it is the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is about struggle and practice and so working with others, but not easy work that requires effort. And it's come out sideways in a blocking position. So perhaps working with others is something that's difficult for you. It's difficult for me. Can be anyway. Oops. Here we go. The moon, the mysteries, the shadow. To me, the moon is all about looking into your shadow. The parts of yourself that you don't want to look at, that you never want to see the light of day. And that is indeed very, very difficult work. It's very hard to look at these things, especially when you just start. It's terrifying. And I'm not sure it ever stops being terrifying. So these are the lessons. This is something you never finish. So I don't think this is finished, but beginning the process can be a huge step. Just that beginning, because if you've never done it before, you know, you're leaping into the unknown, of course. And you have no idea what you're getting into. You don't know if you'll survive. Some don't. And then we have the Two of Wands. That's the analysis paralysis card. I love the animal pictured on this card. I think it's called Axolotl. I'm not sure. I don't remember quite exactly how to spell the name, so I'm probably not pronouncing it right. Page of Cups. So here we are at the beginning of our journey, of our discovery of the self. So we have doing the inner work. We have this Page of Cups, who is just beginning to learn about themselves, their own emotions. And we have the Two of Wands, analysis paralysis. Or perhaps just not being ready to move yet. Wanting the world. But there's still a lot of fear there. See that? That's a fear response. That little lizard is trying to scare everybody off with its great big frill. But really, it's harmless. It doesn't have any significant defenses. It's all show. But this Page of Cups looks so innocent and amazing. It looks like something that couldn't really possibly exist here, but it does. So it looks like magic to me. Well, I'm feeling that's enough of the lessons learned. What else do we need to know with this reading? So we should bless our experiences so far. Ah, yes, take the risk and move on. I'm not sure there's an indication of what you should be moving on to, just being prepared to let go of whatever your current situation is. And that can be very scary. It's a big deal. But really, it doesn't fit anymore, does it? The people that have been part of your life, the situations, it's like trying to put on shoes that you've outgrown. Maybe you can still wedge your feet in there, but it's not terribly comfortable. You don't want to do it for much longer because it kind of hurts. So where are you now? I think becoming your true self is the hardest work of your life. I'm putting everything every which way today. Why not? Our worlds are going crazy. And everything is a little cockeyed. Alright, so the hyena is our animal spirit card today. And this is in the fire element. Humor, wit, sarcasm. Interesting. Are you the class clown? The hyena personality is a jokester and crowd pleaser, but below the surface there are unfulfilled dreams to be realized. When the hyena card appears, it's time to reflect on your reliance on sarcasm and humor to express your truth. Are you using jokes to hide old resentments in relationships or to mask things that you feel uncomfortable discussing? What would happen if you took your goals seriously? When in balance, charming, witty, fun to be around. When out of balance, scrappy, petty, suspicious. I'm not sure scrappy's the right word. Maybe cranky? Irritable? Something like that. To bring into balance, sobriety. Oh my goodness. All right, sobriety. Are we dealing with addictions here? Are your addictions blocking your dreams or just numbing the pain of your unrealized dreams? Yes, the dreams are not realized, and that's very, very frustrating and painful. So instead of doing anything about it, you go to your addiction, whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be a substance. Sobriety is not as simple as not getting high or not getting drunk. There are so many ways to be addicted. To numb yourself, desensitize yourself to your own pain, the pain of your unrealized dreams. It does not have to be a substance at all. Regardless, what is the best way forward at this time? I think that's a good question. So, these are Sacred Path cards. They are also very old. They might still be in print. You might be able to still get these. I've lost the book, so we're just going to have to wing it in figuring out what it's trying to tell us. These are, oracle cards, so oracle cards are... It's not like you can memorize their meanings. I mean, you can. Or as you use them over time, you'll figure out what they mean to you. This one most definitely means purification. But if we're talking about addictions, then yes, there's a need for purification. A need to deal with any toxins that your addictions have created in your life or in your body. If we're talking about physical addictions, then you will have to purify your body. Even if your addictions are non-physical, like gambling or gaming, then you will have to go through a purification process. I know someone who is most definitely addicted to adrenaline, and I know there's a lot of adrenaline junkies out there. So these other things that we do, these physical activities that produce chemical responses, neurochemicals in our bodies, we still have to detox because these neurochemicals are running through our bodies, and our neurons or nerves are used to them being there all the time. So when you stop doing them, there's a withdrawal process, a physical withdrawal process. So I am not an expert on any of this stuff. I know some things about anatomy and physiology, but I'm not an expert on addiction. So the physical process is easier to get over than the emotional or psychological aspects of the addiction. But you're still going to have to go through the purification process. And now I am seeing my bee deck. The bee tarot. So one of the things about bees and other stinging insects like wasps and yellow jackets is that everyone gets all bent out of shape about the fact that they sting. And some people are very, very, very allergic to them, and it can kill them, which is very unfortunate. But there is also something called apitherapy, which is treating various physical ailments with bee stings. The bee stings aren't just randomly applied to your body, they are applied to acupuncture points. At least that's the way I know of it being done. So it's actually a form of acupuncture. So the venom, because there's another thing to think of, the dose makes the poison. So whatever the dose is of something determines whether or not it is toxic, whether or not it is a poison. For someone who is allergic to bee venom, obviously any amount is a toxin, a poison. But if you're not allergic to it, it can be therapeutic. So how are the bees being therapeutic for us today? First, we have Six of Pentacles, reciprocity. This can also be getting help from a counselor, a mentor, a therapist. So you're paying for something and getting something of value in return. You're learning, perhaps, to deal with your scarcity mindset, your lack mentality, and your fear of an ending. We were just talking about an ending. I mean, it's the focus of this whole reading. So when I said your hardest work, that doesn't mean it's your most painful work. I think I said this already, but it bears repeating. There are I think the really difficult things that I did, the things that people said were impossible, I didn't think about whether they were possible when I did them. I just did them. I just did what was in front of me, and I didn't think about it. And sometimes I was aware of how difficult it was, but I didn't give that any attention, if that helps. I am known for not getting overwhelmed, and I think that's why. Don't stop and think about it. Do what needs to be done. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. Oh, keep your eyes on the prize. Martin Luther King. I think that's who said it. But that's what I said to myself all the time. Keep your eyes on the prize. Seven of Swords. That does not seem like a prize, but it could be what. So this I'm going to call it a therapy card because that's what it's representing to me today. So the therapy card is telling me that you have a scarcity mindset, a lack mentality, a feeling of being left out in the cold, although you seem to be making some progress on that front. But there's still a lot of toxic behaviors or toxic people around you that you need to work on. You need to end things with them. And this is very tower-like. So if you were a bee, this would be the destruction of your entire home and family. And perhaps that's what it feels like at this time. And perhaps that's what it really is. It could be a divorce. It could be deciding not to associate with toxic family members anymore. It may be that, and also friends, of course. All right. There's something called enmeshment, which has to do with people who are sort of brought up, trained, conditioned to be extremely loyal to their families. Family first, always. But the problem is the family is toxic, very, very, very toxic. And it is not healthy or helpful to be that loyal to them when they are, in actuality, very harmful to you. Again, this is not my field of expertise. Talk to your therapist about it, because I am not a therapist, and the tarot is not a replacement for therapists. It is not a replacement for your own independent discernment and thinking. But yeah. So we've got the best way forward, which seems to be get some help, because you have a lot to deal with. You probably are in a soul connection. You don't have to be. I mean, any kind of spiritual awakening at all will do this to you. It did it to me. And if you need help dealing with addictions, get that help. If you need help dealing with, even a cult would be like this. Whatever, you're accustomed to toxic relationships, clearly. It's been your whole reality for your whole life, and it's time for that to end. But trying to go and do it alone may not be the best way forward. I mean, the Six of Pentacles is here, so... And we had the Five of Wands underneath that. So you need purification, you need detoxing, you need somebody that you can trust, somebody who is really on your side to talk things over with. That's one of the great things about a therapist. They are on your side. At least the good ones are. And I would say most of them are, even if you don't find them helpful at first, or it can be difficult, I think, sometimes, not always, but sometimes, to find a therapist that you really mesh with. But you're paying them, so you're in control. That should make you feel a bit safer. Anyway, I feel the need for a closing thought, and I don't know where to go for it. Let's see. I accidentally pulled out the Tarot of the Orishas, which they might give us a closing thought. I find them a little scary, but perhaps you don't. They're not always scary, but sometimes. Whoa, okay. Ace of Water. Oh, wow, that's such a good closing thought. All right. I don't know what the Tarot of the Orishas has to say about this particular card. I know what I have to say about it. First of all, you have a dolphin. Hooray, right? A dolphin, what do they do that when they get up out of the water and they kind of flap their tail back and forth and it keeps them up on the surface for a second or two? It looks like fun. I hope they enjoy it. Why else would they do it in the wild? But this is the Ace of Cups in a traditional tarot deck. To me, that represents the heart chakra. So, learning to get in touch with your emotions, learning to respect your emotions and act on them, act in accordance with them, and just keeping your heart chakra open when I know it probably does not feel safe to you at all. It's unfamiliar, it's strange, it makes you feel vulnerable, or it can, but it can also make you feel as happy as a dolphin playing out at sea. All right, this is what the Tarot of the Orishas has to say about it. Beginning a new period, your past and present are reconciled. A future of love will be projected. Feelings are at their top, with moments of great beauty and joy. I'm going to read the reversed meaning too. I'm not sure which one applies to you. Honestly, it did come out reversed, but I don't feel like that's necessarily right. Reversed, unbalance, false hopes, lost love, doubts about feelings, disgusts will be placed into the digesting area under somatic disturbances. Well, I guess that's one way to purify things. Things you are disgusted with need to be digested and may possibly upset your digestive system. All right. I think both meanings are true for you. I think this reversed one applies to your past, and the upright meaning applies to your future. Assuming you choose to do the hardest work you have ever done. So, I hope you find the strength, the courage, the help, whatever it is you need to do this. It is worth it. I know I keep saying that, but it keeps being true. So I wish you all the best. There is something better beyond this. Good luck.